final shortlist of the 2018 CAF Player of the Year category. Now, the Atletico Madrid star has been yanked from the list. Here is a full list of 10 players nominated for or shortlisted for the CAF Player of the Year award. On your screen, you can see the 10-man shortlist for the African Player of the Year. Iwobi plays his club football for Arsenal. He is from Nigeria, and then Mohamed Salah plays his club football for Liverpool from Egypt. Also, there is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. There is Riyad Mahrez, Sadio Mane, as well as Oyana and Oyango, who plays his club football for Mamelodi Sundowns in South Africa. He is from Uganda. Benatia also plays his club football for Juventus. So that is the African Player of the Year, the 10-man shortlist. All right, so to help me look at the omission of Thomas Partey from this list is my colleague Selwyn Saki. Selwyn, thanks so much for joining me.
Anytime.
Thomas Partey, for what he did in the year under review, that's from January to December. For me, he deserves to be in this list. I don't know what you think.
Of course, if you look at some of the names being in the Walid Suleiman and even Riyad Mahrez, if we should take out what Partey has achieved with his club personally and also the club as a whole, winning trophies like the Europa League as well, and his presence in the team, even with the national team. I don't know if CAF were looking at the fact that maybe he didn't qualify Ghana to the World Cup. I don't know what they took in to put the selection. But if you look at the list that came in, with some of the local players being inside, Walid Suleiman and then Sadri from Esperance, I think that Partey definitely should be in that list.
All right, so Thomas Partey should have been in, according to my colleague Saki, and I agree with him 100%, because looking at what Thomas Partey did in the year under review, winning the UEFA Europa League and also UEFA Super Cup with Atletico Madrid and playing well for the Black Stars, he deserves to be in the 10-man shortlist. Well, away from the male player of the year, which there is no Partey, Ghana has 2 players in the women's player of the year shortlist. Black maiden skipper Abdullahi Mukarama and Black Queen skipper Elizabeth Addo. We've got a full list for you, but before, okay, so there you go on your screen. Almost all the top players that played very well at this year's African Women's Championship are in there. So Mukarama Abdullahi, we also have Asisa Toshola, she's gone to win her 4th African Women's Player of the Year. Jan Van Wyk of South Africa. There is also Gatlana, Thembi Christine Gatlana. She was woman of the tournament as well as queen. She won the Golden Boot at the just ended African Women's Championship. Riza Fejio also in there with Francisca Odega, and then we have our own Elizabeth Addo. So when you go through the list, and it tells you that these are the best on the continent. And for me, I agree with the 11 players there. The only player that I have a problem is our own Elizabeth Addo.
Well, I agree certainly with you if you say that. So if you look at the performance and the class of players, I think Elizabeth has made her name in previous years, but then for this year, we can't categorically just put her in there. We can't be biased as well as Ghanaians, but her performance shouldn't merit what we've seen in the list, because the class of players in this list, I mean, it's quite above this. And even with the recent tournament that we had in Ghana, she didn't even start all the games that Ghana played. So it tells you that even with the national team, she wasn't the first choice player to go to. Some of the Ghanaian players that were in the team had a better performance than her, but maybe her club football gave her the chance to be in there. But this list is a fantastic list. Abdullahi Mukarama fantastically deserves to be in there for a performance in the World Cup. I see Satuna has already made her name for herself.
Basira Toure
very well for Mali
in the tournament.
Getting them
then your own player, Riza Fejio.
Of course, she definitely has to be in there. But then she has competition with Katlana and the likes in their team. So
I fancy Katlana winning this.
Definitely being the best in Africa in the tournament as well. She running pole as first to win this.
And she plays her club football for Houston Dash in the United States of America. So that's the CAF Women's Player of the Year. Fortunately for us, we have 2 ladies in there. Mukarama Abdullahi playing very well for the Black Maidens at the just ended FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. Ghana were knocked out of the competition in the quarterfinals, but she emerged as top scorer in that competition and also won the bronze medal, and she's gunning for the goal of the tournament. Well, we still have to stay with awards, and in about, let's say, an hour from now, we will know who the BBC African Footballer of the Year is. Well, we have Thomas Partey in the Mehdi Benatia, Kalidou Koulibaly of Napoli from Senegal, Sadio Mane also from Senegal, And so if you look at the performance of the players and for this very award, I'm tempted to say that Mohamed Salah, no challenger.
Well, of course, no challenger of Mohamed Salah. Even if you look at the year under review, he had 33 goals in the calendar year, 10 in the Champions League, 2 for Egypt in the World Cup. I mean, it all counts for himself. And at the moment, even in the Premier League, he already has 10 in 16 games. In the Champions League, 3 in 6 goals. And if you say that, okay, are we talking only about goals with Salah? What about other players like Khalid Koulibaly? Salah's effects in the Liverpool team alone is, and I mean, the fact that he even qualified Egypt so handily to the World Cup for a long time, they haven't been there. Tell you that Salah is on top of Africa. He's in the upper echelon of world football. The FIFA best, he was in the top.
Yeah, he was in the top.
No Lionel Messi. Salah was in there. How much more Africa?
So Salah can even win the CAF Player of the Year and also the BBC African Footballer of the Year.
Definitely.
Wow. What a year he's had, Mohamed Salah, for Liverpool. And just when we all thought that he wasn't doing well this season, now he started scoring.
So scoring, and I mean, against Bournemouth, had 3 in there, and he's just getting his confidence.
Yeah, he qualified Liverpool to the next stage of the Champions League as well. His goal took Liverpool to the next stage of the competition. Well, so at exactly 5:30, at exactly 5:30, we'll know the winner of this year's BBC African Footballer of the Year. But before we take leave of you, we have to announce that the Ghana Football Association Normalization Committee has announced that active football will resume next year with the introduction of a special competition, and the new competition will start on January 26th. That's next year, so next month, and will involve all 16 Premier League clubs as well as 48 clubs in the second tier. And according to a statement released by the Ghana Football Association, or that's the Normalization Committee, the competition will keep all the clubs active during the GFA normalization process, and also produce Ghana's representatives for the next CAF Champions and Confederations Cup, respectively. The Normalization Committee also revealed they have taken knowledge of proposal by Premier League clubs to organize a separate competition for the 16 teams. And also, they haven't forgotten about the Women's League as well as other competitions. They will put all together and see what will happen going forward. So next year, early next year, we're going to have a competition here on the local scene. That's good news for us followers of football. But so briefly, Kumasi Asante Kotoko are in action tomorrow. They play against Kariobangi FC, that's Sharks FC of Kenya. Where is it going?
Well, with Kotoko's performances, with their preparation, I think they'll make a statement in Kenya. I don't know how effective it's going to be because Africa, anything could happen. The terrain and all that is going to affect them. But with how they are preparing their team, if they have the strong mentality, I see Kotoko getting a point out of this game.
Right, thanks so much. So that's how we end sports. I'm Benedict Tosi. Thanks so much for your company. We are back same time next week. Another exciting edition of the program. Enjoy the rest of the program.